Sir, I'm gonna need you to find the retirement home and chill all the way out. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are here, guys. We are literally at the end. 7 years. We have reached the end of Cobra Kai. We are now in season 6, the final 5 episodes. And, bittersweet feelings. Obviously, this show has been a delight. It's been so great to go down memory lane and also carve new paths with a movie that is my personal favorite, the original Karate Kid. But I do feel like this is the time. I think the story has been well explored and our characters are beloved. And, it may not be the end of the story per se. Like this story, I think it's time to wrap up. But, the franchise, the entity, who knows? There might be stuff down the line. We already know there's a Karate Kid movie coming out with Ralph Macchio. So, as they say, Cobra Kai never dies, and neither does Miyagi-Do or Karate Kid. So even though this might be the end of the line for these, I think we're still going to possibly have some fun in this world in the future. Who knows? But anyway, let's get back into this. This one's called Into the Fire. So the last episode, what did we happen in the last episode? I believe we just started training, right? We had a lot of discord in the first half of the season, a lot of drama within the team, within the coaches. But I believe the last episode that we left off with, everyone's kind of back. They're focused. We got our team working together again. The internal conflict is gone. They've trained hard. The coaches are working together. So now we're ready to kind of finish up the last of this Sekai Taikai and hopefully take the championship home, or at the very least, once and for all, finally get rid of Kreese. We got to see. But I'm ready to jump in. So let's do that. But just before I do, if you'd like to be in the know when I drop the episodes for this, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Oh, right. I forgot about the boy. Oh, gosh, that's bad of me. I forgot.
He did not have one.
Oh, how can
we have been his family since he was a boy.
And look what you led him to, Kreese. I mean, he was clearly trouble before.
This is my fault.
Oh, gross! I'm glad you know.
I caused this.
Good. You're teaching. I mean, are they allowed to just bury I don't think you're allowed to just burn a body in your personal property, though. Is it supposed to be Korea again, though? I don't even think in Korea you're allowed to do that. There's like regulations around that kind of stuff. Maybe it's just the coffin, symbolically. What you looking at me for, bruh? These are your teachings. Oh, a month later. Okay.
We could talk about next year.
Oh, his mom. I forgot about her.
Maybe, but the workload.
If I may.
Who are you?
There's always a way to fast track these things.
Who is this?
Robbie was this close to being a world champion in karate. All right, we were this close.
Yeah, well, I was really good at field hockey.
Thank you.
Look at trade school and other alternative paths. Try to keep an open mind about
Trades are very lucrative. But no, it's true. Trades actually are very lucrative if he enjoys it. But if he still wants to do it, listen, you don't need college, boy. You got a dream, you chase it.
On decorating duty, just like the old days.
The old days before karate, when we were junior salesmen painting dicks off billboards?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, coffee's down, will you?
But they're thirsty.
Oh, so did you give the old friends, family, and paisan discount?
Nah, come on, we don't need to grease the wheels for her. She's got everything set up perfectly, right?
Exactly.
Great school, close to home, safe and happy.
Exactly. Does she want to go to UCLA, by the way?
There is something deeply wrong with that man right now.
Stop studying him and work. But yes, Daniel would be I don't blame him for being hyper-protective of Sam after that.
Something wrong?
Mr. Braun.
Oh, time to get bribed. Hey, Terry. Hi.
I don't recall inviting you.
It's okay. He's hot enough. Let him in. He's like a vampire. It's fine.
The Sekai Taikai. Karate in general.
Oh, so they just canceled
has
it?
gotten a whole lot of attention lately.
Is that what happened?
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Someone died, Terry.
Let the world see the good. What happened was a freak accident with a foreign object off the map.
Like, he's not wrong, but let's have a little respect.
Right down to the strategy of entering while I was in a awkward state. Taking the high ground.
He's like, I'm 6'5". Talk about high ground again.
The last images of the Sekai Taikai can be him, bloody.
That's enough.
They can be a global championship celebration of our great sport.
Listen, the man's a salesman for a reason. The pretty privilege is completely clouding my judgment, but besides that, he actually is good at his job.
Consider restarting the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
As if everyone, and I mean
Everyone agrees.
is fully on board.
You know Daniel ain't doing it unless you bribe him. Johnny will do it. But Daniel, not in his wheelhouse.
My dojang has been embarrassed,
You're embarrassing.
and we will avenge our student.
Avenge him?
They take one of ours. We take one of theirs.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to find the retirement home and chill all the way out.
And we will require special lesson.
Oh, we're just gonna take lives now. Oh, it's a scroll. Oh, how to kill people.
I trained special student once.
Oh, now.
His name was a ton.
Yo, you'll learn the same.
Chris, pull me up. He went off to your American War.
Crease is like, don't know him.
아니, 인사!
Oh, he wants you to do another students. Look at that. Y'all really want to stay at this dojo? Okay.
We learn by punishment.
Okay, then get your ass out there, Gramps.
Punishment for failing students.
Okay, but then shouldn't it be Crease out there getting his ass whooped? Since y'all said it's the teacher's fault? Y'all could say no. But okay. Okay, you know, if Crease is getting uncomfortable, that says something. Literally, y'all could quit right now because you could all jump this old man. I'm not really about abusing the elderly, but in this case, I would say it's self-defense. So there's gonna be nobody to compete because you've beaten them all up? Is that what we're planning?
We continue tomorrow.
No one needs to show up tomorrow, guys. Legitimately.
Did you hear who your dad sold a car to this morning?
I did, like 10 times. That's all he wants to talk about.
Miguel, you hear who I sold the car to this morning?
Ah, thank God, Daniel, breathe.
Oh, well, it could just mean being closer to home, man. Being closer to UCLA.
Yeah.
She's like, I wanted to get away from my dad. I mean, I love him, but he's a bit overbearing.
Hello?
Guess what? The Sekai tie guy's back
Lawrence is
on
here, too.
if you want it.
Why? What's this about?
Gonna divide them again because Johnny's gonna want to go back.
Why? You don't think everyone's gonna be back on board?
No, because I'm not.
Exactly.
Okay? Do you really want to go back to dealing with Crease?
And his murderous students?
There's nothing else to talk about.
Please.
I'm sorry. I've made my decision.
Yeah, you had to know of all people Daniel was not gonna take death well, Johnny. Not that any of you are, but everyone deals differently.
Meanwhile, he's got me on balloon duty, which literally blows.
It does. It's good for your lung capacity.
Just saying, we get this far in the tournament, we're not gonna
Carmen,
finish the
fix
fight.
that. That's your baby's
should at
place
least
of
get
rest,
the photo.
please. Shouldn't be its final place of rest.
Most people don't get to live their dreams. I mean, look at Miguel and Stanford. But maybe it's that way so that we learn to make the most of what we do have.
Be grateful.
We have a lot.
Right? Can we focus on the good things? Can we fix this crib? I'm nervous.
So this is where our little girl's gonna sleep.
Well, not until you fix it. Just out at sea, international waters, Terry. What's going on?
Fortunately, the decision was not unanimous.
You already know.
It was LaRusso, wasn't it?
He's predictable. Come on, Terry. You've studied LaRusso long enough to know.
You all right, sir?
I'm brooding! What are these now?
I need to drop in on a friend in the valley.
The sad thing is that Terry actually does know how to manipulate Daniel very well.
바르셀로나에서 있었던 일.
과거에 연연하지 말고.
No, homie said we've grieved. Let's time to move on. Does no one knock in this place?
I've decided we are not returning to the Sekai Taikai. Not your decision. I made it my decision.
Technically is, though.
Now you have something that no longer belongs to you.
Give me back my knife so I can stab you with it. It's like, keep it. It was a bit of hallucinogenic anyway.
넌 힘이 없어. 할아버지한테 숨기지만 이 도장은 나와
Well, if this is the way the Dojang is, it should die with you.
제가 사범이 될 수 있습니다. 전제 평생을 바쳤습니다.
Just be a different sensei after he dies.
걔처럼 너도 기회가 있을
Here we
거야.
go. Go back to Sekai Taikai and do it my way.
아주 힘듭니다.
Take out Kreese? Putting you on your first assassin mission? We'll see, girl.
Hey, LaRusso, tighten that up a little bit, huh?
Do I know you?
I never forget a LaRusso.
I see the inside joke. I see the inside joke there, people, because that's actually, that's okay.
She's not going to UCLA. This girl is dying to get away from home.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Clearly you know Daniel is messed up. I mean, he's bridezilla-ing all over the dealership and not talking about Barcelona at all. But you're getting what you want, so hey, no sudden movements, right?
Ooh, facts though.
Hey, you know what? Let me. No, I got.
Saw that coming. It's fine.
You're always worried about this stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's her dad. She knows what she's doing.
If you
You even
say
look
so.
who it is. Really, Johnny? Even if this wasn't a TV show, I mean, hello. This is LA. I'm not getting into anyone's car.
Is that what LaRusso said to you? Do the kids even know this option is on the table?
That's a good point.
You want to spend the rest of your life doing test drives for LaRusso?
Oh, not the ego prick. I'm glad he knows he's a rich prick. But he fine though, so it's okay. You're buying this, by the way. You've just ruined all the brakes and suspension. Johnny. Not that way. The quickest way to piss Daniel off is to talk to that man. That was a great card, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of hot. But no, you need to talk to Daniel yourself. You've come far enough that you should be able to appeal to him without Silver.
I guess I should start packing. But then again, I don't know
Where to go? Well, that's your fault.
You don't need me anymore.
Oh, she's so glad you said that.
I don't think anybody ever did.
That didn't have to be true, but you made it true.
It's too late for me to be a good sensei, let alone to be a good person.
Oh, shut up, Kreese.
Gave me the power to handle many difficult.
That's a cop-out. You can always change.
It consumes you. I could never control it.
You could. You just chose not to.
I too need to do something difficult.
Then do it.
Oh, you said I'm giving you permission.
You are not your grandfather. You will lead your dojo.
Hopefully, in a better way.
And I will be proud of you for it.
I wasn't looking for your validation, but thanks. Oh, maybe she is a little bit.
I think it's time for me to rest.
Forever?
I know what you're gonna say.
It occurred to me that you may be bottling up unresolved tension and
She
trauma.
says
and that
so
you may
calmly.
be-
By the way, you're losing your ish.
I know things got out of control in Barcelona, but maybe it's causing you to hold on a little too tight to control here.
Very understandable reaction.
I'm sure it's gonna get worse when Sam tells you she doesn't want to go to UCLA.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Did you ask?
But I just need you to know that I will always love you.
No. Sorry.
You trust me?
No,
That's a loaded question.
not really.
No pressure, no strings.
What do you? You're not here hat in hand. You're playing an angle. You're just hoping you could hide it long enough to trip us up.
What is it you're afraid of?
Outside of you?
With full transparency, at the mercy of your decision.
Mercy? Huh?
Interesting choice of words.
Revenge? Is that still it? What the hell are you holding on to, Silver?
For the senseis and the kids.
Bullshit.
Seconded.
Like, come on, Terry. You're good, but not that good.
You want to know why I need this?
Yes, that's why I asked.
Because it's the only thing I have left.
Ooh, the desperation angle.
No more mansions. And
That's
no,
true, he is broke-ish.
the only thing I can have now is one last win.
Johnny's like, damn, this feels a little too familiar.
You're sick.
Sick is an understatement.
Bullshit again.
Not this time.
If you think you're gonna get sympathy out of us.
That's the last thing I want from
Yeah,
any.
he wouldn't have told you otherwise.
Whatever decision you make for everyone.
That part is true. And you haven't told the kids, and that's the only angle that he had that was actually true. Yeah, it's still fine.
The second something doesn't go his way, he's gonna be as dangerous as ever.
That part is true.
Beat him before. We can beat him again.
But let's do it on the mat. I feel you, Daniel, but...
The kids really want this, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
But you said you trusted me. Well, I trust you too, so.
Oh, I think this means you guys are besties. Bros for life. Oh, you really have to use the knife? You don't have to do any of this, hun. She's not in his room. She's in her grandpa's.
내 도장을 원해?
No, I think she'll be free of you. Damn. This history of abuse. Doesn't feel good when you're in the receiving end, is it, Gramps? But at his age, that probably is a killer move. Oh, damn, she really did take him out. Well, I mean, at least he was proud of you in his dying breath. You just murdered him, by the way. Are you okay with that? I think it's still illegal in Korea, especially for the elderly.
But I will do it my way.
Ah, that's too bad.
And this will be the last time you and I will see each other, John.
It's probably for the best.
I have been the bad guy for so long. I don't think I'll be able to change that.
Well, with that attitude, that's the case. Bye, John.
I still have some unfinished business.
I wonder if they know that that knife's not gonna burn. Poor Chosen. He keeps choosing girls that are not the right ones.
Dad, is it true? Is the tournament back on?
80s music. Absolutely.
Bring him on.
All right. So I guess we are back. That felt like it was a little longer, was it? All right, guys. Well, that was our return. We have skipped forward ahead a month, and we see that everyone was kind of dealing with what happened at the Sekai Taikai a bit differently, but Daniel didn't really surprise me. You know, he's always somebody who's quite afraid of bad things happening, which makes sense, you know, with his history and the fact that he experienced loss so young. He definitely would have taken, you know, this situation, I think, a little bit more, not personally, but I mean, I can see why he had such a reaction to kind of lock down and want to keep everybody safe after something like this, especially because he knew that there was a lot of potential trouble brewing with this whole tournament, right? He didn't feel good about it with the elements of Silver and Kreese involved in this tournament from the get-go. But anyways, we see that even though that was happening, it really wasn't him dealing with it. He was trying to suppress and ignore, and that's not the right way to deal with it, right? He needs to kind of just allow himself to feel what he needs to feel, which is probably a little bit of anger and some disappointment and, you know, a little bit of trauma, honestly, because no one wants to see that happen. But, you know, in the end, indeed, they do have to move forward. You know, thankfully, there was no one else that was seriously hurt. And for those who are still here, it's still a gift to be here. And it's important to move forward in the right way. And we see that Silver was relentless in making sure the Sekai Taikai, you know, had a chance to redeem itself, you know, despite the fact that it's important to not, you know, forget or ignore the fact that someone died. It shouldn't be the entirety of the Sekai Taikai, because as we've seen, it's not the first time it happened, right? It happened with Miyagi all those years ago. But also, it's not what it should be about, right? They say that this is supposed to be about sportsmanship, about the beauty of the martial art that's karate, and that's really what it should be about. And Terry had valid points, you know, even though he's definitely selling something there, he wasn't lying, he wasn't wrong. Like, if this shouldn't be what the show ends on, per se, is that, you know, this is the reason, or this is what it was all about, and that's what it would be, right? If they ended the Sekai Taikai with this, that would be what everyone remembered, and that would kind of be its legacy, no matter what the history before it was. So he wasn't wrong in that, you know, if this is something that a lot of people do love and consider to be an important milestone, then bringing it back so that they could end it on a more positive note would be a better way. I mean, this will never go away. Like, it's not like, you know, when Mr. Miyagi had his loss all those years ago, it was before social media, and, you know, news that happened 100 years ago or 70 years ago doesn't really, you know, hit now, because it's not something you can actively look up. But nowadays we know things kind of live a little bit longer because of social media and the internet. But all the same, it can still change the narrative around what this experience is. And I think more importantly, the part that I think for me is why I'm like, okay, is that for the kids, right? The kids really didn't ask for any of this, right? Like they came there hoping to compete in what they think is the pinnacle of their sport. And it's not good for them to have that as the last memory of a big tournament that they went to, you know, that this tragedy happened and then that's kind of it, right? It's not the best note for them to end on. So that's the main reason is I do agree that it's if the kids are up for it, the ones who are willing to return, then let them go and change that narrative from that negative, sad outcome to something that's more positive. Again, not forgetting what happened to Quan. Quan didn't deserve to go out like that. But again, we have to remember that unfortunately Quan, you know, he unfortunately created that situation for it to happen, right? Of course, he didn't want that to be the outcome, but you know, there's some culpability there that has to be assigned. So anyways, for the rest of the kids though, they don't need to have that necessarily be the memory that they walk away from. You know, it's kind of like when they say, you know, you fall off the horse, you got to get back on here. You know, all these kids were kind of kicked off their horses. Let's let them get back on and have a better experience. So yeah, that's kind of what's going down. We see that Silver came and did something we've never seen him before do, which is be vulnerable with Daniel. And of course, there's still an angle. We know that he made a big deal with what's his name, my boy Louis Tan's character. His name slipped out of my mind. We know that he kind of bet what he has left of his assets on his dojo winning. He promised Louis Tan's character a bunch of things, so it's not all completely altruistic on Terry's part. Like he does have things to lose if this doesn't go through. But the thing about the hospital, I completely forgot. I don't think he's lying about being sick. I do think he is sick. That makes sense. You know, people who live lives like Kreese and Silver's characters, you know, they don't often have good ends, right? It's very unhealthy for us as humans to live in such a bitter, angry, divisive way, in a way that's always like you're trying to get the one over on somebody else. Like that's not a healthy way to live. I've never seen anyone who's lived life like that had a happy end. It literally eats you from the inside out. And so anyways, we don't know what's wrong with Silver. He just said that it's bad in his opinion. So I get it. Like if this is kind of all that he's got left to focus on, then, and also let's not forget too, sorry, just a side note, if you watch Karate Kid 3, you know that this guy's been doing drugs like his entire life too. So might be another reason he's sick as well. But digressing, he says he wants this, you know, to be his last hurrah. So, or at least an attempt at his last hurrah. So, you know, I think that's the reason why Daniel didn't say anything after that, is I think he picked up finally that Terry was being a little bit vulnerable, which is not something he often does. So anyway, that's where we're with Terry. And then with the kids, there really wasn't much with the kids. This is definitely the episode that focused more on the adults, but nothing really with Daniel's kids outside of the fact that Robbie apparently is having, you know, issues getting into school because of his time in juvie. Fortunately, it's the reality, but hopefully, like I was saying in there, like trades is not a bad way to go. It's really not. I really don't like that sometimes they kind of make trades like look like something you should look down on. Like there are tradesmen making lots of money in this world, and trades are something that's not going away. So there's nothing to look down on. It's a very beautiful, lucrative career if that's what you want to do. But if he doesn't, like if Robbie really wants to do more things that are not in trades, the doors are not closed yet, right? What that counselor was saying was completely untrue. Like maybe his door of getting in the conventional way is not going to be the way to go, but there's definitely ways around it. There's ways to circumvent. There's so many different ways to get the education you need and get access to whatever it is you're trying to do in that field. So hopefully Robbie won't give up in that respect. But since the tournament's back on, I guess he's just going to win, or his team will win and that'll fix everything. But you know, message being, don't give up on your dreams, kids. And then outside of that, we had a little bit of what was going on over in Korea, I guess, with the dojo there. We see that Gramps was upset about the loss, and his plan was to go back into the tournament for blood, basically. He was like, you know, they took one of ours, we took one of theirs, but it's like, dude, he took himself out first of all. But anyways, we see that he was starting to teach some very, destructive karate, some very lethal karate, and both Kreese, believe it or not, even Kreese, and I keep forgetting her name. Kim, is it? I can't think of her name right now. Sorry. But both of them knew that the grandpa was going too far. Like the fact that he had the kids hurting themselves, like was crazy. And yeah, they both kind of were like, this is not the way we want to go back. Like this isn't healthy. Like this is not the mentality we should have. And we see that Kreese, for the first time, we see him actually stand up and do what's right and say, nah, like this is too far. I'm not going back. I sent Yoon home because he's clearly traumatized from what you you did to him. I'm not leading a team like this. And the grandfather basically said, okay, well, if it's not you, then he basically looked at his granddaughter and said, look, here's your chance to prove yourself to me, aka emotional manipulation, because he made it pretty clear a long time ago that because she's a girl, he does not see her as an equal or someone who's the right person to do this. But anyways, he tells her that if she wants to do it, she's got to take Kreese out of the equation. And thankfully, they have a good conversation where Kreese basically tries to play the smallest violin in for himself. Look, I'm not into it. I've been saying for several seasons that I knew they were trying to do this whole, oh, we're going to feel sorry for Kreese situation. I'm not there. I'm sorry. Like, I'm glad that he's turning a leaf. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't do better, but I'm just not going to be deeply moved by all of this, right? And his whole, oh, it's too late for me. I've been bed for too long. That's excuses still. Like, if you genuinely are over this, Kreese, you want to do better, yeah, show up to the tournament, do your apologies, acknowledge where you've made mistakes, and say from here on out, I'll do the best I can. You may not want to be around for it, but that's what I'm going to do, because being truly apologetic means you just do the work. You're not looking for someone to feel sorry for you. You're not looking for validation that you're on the right path. You're doing it because you know it's the right thing to do, period. So anyways, maybe at this tournament, that's what he'll do when he sees Johnny, is actually acknowledge the fact that he messed his kid up and apologize, and be ready for the fact that Johnny may not want him anywhere near him or his family, and not be upset about it, because that's the reality, right? If you're truly sorry, you take the consequences of your actions. So anyway, as I said, though, I'm glad that Kreese is no longer on the path of trying to hurt anybody, because we don't need that. Now it's just going to be an actual karate tournament with, potentially a handful of rotten apples in the middle of the students, meaning because, some of these students have already been rotten on, oh yeah, and there's still Louis Tan, right? He's still in there, and he hasn't been briefed on the whole we're being good thing. So we'll have to see how he goes in the tournament. But anyway, that's basically where we're at. We're back. The tournament is back on, and I guess we're going to be, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think we're going back to Europe for the second half here, but we'll see what goes down now that everything's back on, and now hopefully everyone's on the same page of having a fair fight for this title. So yeah, good episode. I enjoyed it, and hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.